You know, we're cool.
Yep.
I bought a 100-foot roll of heavy cable that I may never use now. Well, it doesn't go bad though.
Yeah,
it's sealed.
You use rubber shit.
Well, it's heavy coax, 213. It's variable. I mean, you can use it for all kinds of stuff. So that kind of
start digging a different route. If they're going to be digging the road up.
They are again. Anyhow, I'm going to try to get more stuff out of there. I'm going to do a bunch more painting, I guess. Try to anyhow before winter, if I can. I need to do so much other things, but we're going to try to do what we can do. Get rid of a bunch of crap. Continue to get rid of crap. Continue to do repairs. Okay. That's kind of where we're at. We don't know if this virus is any, you know, I don't know.
We have no idea. They don't even have a clue what's going on.
Yeah, that's my point. And the Biden administration?
Yeah.
Number 10 dinky dells, right? They are nuts. Yeah. And now they want us to do a survey, a RF survey, because some people are RF intolerant.
Well, don't stand next to your microwave and you'll be fine.
Well, don't implant that cell phone up your ears for 4 hours, maybe, you know?
Well, see, now they got the watch and the phone.
Yep.
And
both of them.
I was reading the thing about that one you're going to be getting.
Yep.
They said if you leave it on for extended periods of time and you're messing with it all the time, no, it can start to heat up. And if you don't move it, like if you keep it on all day after day.
Yeah, like Mama's done. Yeah.
And eventually it might heat up to the point where it might give you a, well.
Yeah.
Oh, did it?
I think so.
They were claiming that one of the issues with that Versa 3 thing is if it starts to get warm, take it off. Well, let it cool down. Let your wrist cool down. Then you're fine.
I would think that for some things it might be awesome. But for other things, I don't think I'm going to wear it much, or if at all. Or maybe I'll end up loving it. But the bottom line is, I don't wear a watch all the time now. I mean, you know, I wear it when I'm running around doing stuff.
I don't really do, yeah.
And I also wear it if I need to know. But if I'm out banging on something, I'm not going to wear that watch out there while I'm banging on something. Now, Lee Ann, Mom's therapist for her lymphedema, has got the super watch and the super phone.
Yeah.
And they're tied together. Now, in her case, she's a PhD. She's very smart lady.
Yeah.
Her husband is an electronics guy, very smart.
Yeah.
And they're farming while they're doing their full-time jobs. And they're very nice, very smart people. She's got it down to a science. I mean, she has...
Well, you can, from what I was reading, and apparently after talking with some other people that have had these things for a while, is you can be talking on your phone and immediately transfer it to your if you have one of these 4G enabled ones.
Yeah.
Like Jenga, is you can transfer it right to the watch and be going.
That's what she does.
And it's seamless. It's a seamless transfer.
Yeah.
It's
we watched her do it because her kids.
And that's kind of cool if I got a lot of calls, which
and like when Dr. Ree had her stethoscope plugged into it, because she had hearing aids, and her hearing aids, her stethoscope, and her phone were all three tied together.
Well, like one of the guys who's a mechanic, he says he instead of having to pull his cell phone out every time for calls, he just taps his phone or taps his watch.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And she would be in the middle of doing therapy, and she would and then continue. You know.
And get all your notifications and shit down here.
This is pretty slick.
Yep.
So,
I mean, it looks kind of interesting. I just don't know how much I would use it. Maybe I'd use it a lot if I had it, you know.
I don't know, Jeff. It's
I mean, if I still worked in a call center or something where I needed the tracking thing, I'd probably use it more. But
well, what I needed was a timer, so I would be back on break on time. That's all I need.
Stopwatch something.
That's why I got it. It's
easier to pull up your phone.
And they take shock. These are designed to take kind of a beating. It's a cheap time.
That's what the new ones, the new Galaxy ones, are able to take a lot. They got freaking Corona glass in the damn things, like like the glass on the front of your cell phone.
Yeah.
So it'll take a little bit of a beating. It's IP68 water resistance. So you can swim the damn thing. I don't know if I want to swim with it.
I did that in Vietnam with a supposedly water-resistant watch, and after several swims,
not meant for ocean environment.
No, this was in a old fuel bladder they turned into a pool, and after several days of swimming underwater, it was shot.
Well, yeah.
It's not designed for that.
Technology back then was a little.
You can get a diver's watch that will do that, but you're going to pay back then a huge amount of money. This was cheap that was supposed to work, and he did. You splash it a couple times, it's okay. You keep doing it, it's not really designed for it. So, will these turn out okay? I don't know. The bottom line is, we had these points. We lost the points.
That's fine.
We got them back, right?
Yeah, you got cheap ones that are cheap watches that are normally $200 watches or so. So you got the one model below the ultimate do everything watch. So there you go. Good.
Will I like it or not? I don't know.
Who knows? Many videos on YouTube if you really want to dive into it and watch a few of them.
What can you do with it?
There's a lot of fitness and tracking. That's pretty much what Fitbits are really for.
Is this a Fitbit?
Yes.
Okay.
The Fitbit Versa 3s, they came out about a year ago.
I was gonna buy
more fitness watch than the like Galaxy watches.
Okay. I was gonna buy Mom the expensive French cast iron cookware. Mom says it's too big and it's too heavy. I said, that's the stuff that's supposed to be the best in the world, cookware, and she said it's great. Can't put it in the dishwasher, can't this, can't that. Don't want it. I'm like, okay, this is the wonder thing you always drool over every time it comes on QVC. We can get it for free.
We still buy it on QVC.
Yeah.
It's like that thing she was showing, that computer or whatever she was looking at. We'll buy this thing and like, I don't know, I can't remember what it was, but she was looking on QVC. It's like, well, it's only like $500. I'm like, Mom, the exact same model computer you're looking at is lesser quality than the current one you have sitting in the house that I bought you a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And second of all, that exact same model, smaller
is what she's probably looking for.
Model, exact same model.
Yeah.
On Newegg is $220.
She's looking probably for a smaller one.
Well, about as small as you can get is about 13-inch.
Yeah. And what size has she got?
That's a 15.6.
Yeah,
so
which is pretty nice.
It's pretty fine. It's pretty good enough.
It seems fine. What is the one I'm using by the computer?
That's a 15.6 inch.
Okay, for that application, you wouldn't want to go any smaller. Maybe you want to go bigger. But
that's the first generation Ryzen laptops, which are, yes, I get it. There are some limitations.
I'm not complaining. I'm just.
Yours is even older. Mine's even older, but I'm looking at a few different varieties of stuff, but I want something that, if I'm going to use the damn thing, better have a muck switch on it, sucker.
Better have a what?
It's called a muck switch. Basically, it allows you to use the full horsepower of the graphics card that's embedded in.
Okay.
Instead of using the GPU version that's inside the CPU.
Yeah.
Which is okay. I mean, it's better than a lot of stuff.
But it's not as good as.
But you can't take advantage of the full discrete graphics card that's embedded in the laptop unless you hook it up to an external monitor. Which is like, why?
But you want it, because they don't make desktops anymore.
Well, yeah, okay. If you're using it as a desktop replacement, fine.
But people want to do research. People want to game. People want to do this.
I want to game. I want to be able to have the full horsepower of the thing I'm paying $2,000 for.
But it may or may
if
not.
I'm paying $3,000, I want to have full access to this thing.
If
you're flipping a switch.
If you're using it like you do and like the National Weather Service does to blow up the radar and other things,
then I can use the internal GPU for that part. But if I'm gaming and I'm spending $3,000 on this laptop, I'm expecting this sucker
to be better than
to work without just having to hook up an external monitor.
Yeah.
to be able to use the full usage of the graphics card in this thing.
Right.
And there are some out there, and they're grossly expensive.
Yeah. Well,
but you know, if I'm going to spend $3,000 on something that I'm not going to replace for 8 years, assuming that's the case, and it might be 8 years for all we know. I want to have all the access to all the components.
Yeah.
I don't want just, well, it's going to work here, but if you're hurting the external monitor, you get more. But like,
did you say part of the function of this thing is not turned on here, or is that the big watch? It's not turned on at all.
Oh, that's a Galaxy watch.
No,
and then I've heard other people say that's not the case. You can still use it. It's just not certified. But I'm like, there were a few reviews I was watching, but then again, maybe they're just dumb. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe they didn't know what they were doing. I don't know.
Well, if they could come up with an optical sensor that would read the sugar level in your
well, I don't know for that level
without poking a hole in there or something. You know, that would be pretty amazing. But they are doing some amazing stuff. So.
Maybe when you give the blood pressure kit to the diabetes patient, don't automatically just tell them, "Oh, you have to poke your fingers."
Yeah.
Maybe tell them, "Well, you can poke other areas."
But you can
as long as you get a little bit of blood on there, you can do it.
And like, that's what Barry
a little
does.
bit of blood.
That's what Barry does.
But they don't tell you that.
And she told me why I shouldn't use vitamin K. Vitamin K seems to be working just fine.
Yeah, apparently.
That's what I was doing.
Whatever was having its little joyous moment of that day.
Well, I'm on pills, and I was looking at one of the pills, and it doesn't. The prescription doesn't run out to like 2023.
Oh.
So I have a feeling they'll be taking that for a while.
Yeah, so Jen was telling me about her joints and her knee was hurting. Says, there you go, glycosamine and MSM, start taking it. Oh, will that have the effect on my other meds I'm taking?
I have to talk to your doctor.
Well, says, I take potassium. I said, I take potassium every bloody day. Mom takes it every day.
Yep.
You probably take it every day.
It's in my vitamin to some degree.
I've never heard of anybody having a problem with that.
The doctor.
Yeah, that's why I says, you really have a concern, tell them. They're going to probably give you the generic, well, no studies have ever said that it actually works.
If it works for you, it works. Well,
if you don't have a problem with it, you'll probably be okay.
The CBD was working for me too, but when Don told me it was a blood thinner that the doctor didn't know, that's when I turned it off.
That's a surprise too. I didn't know that either.
Well, I might go back on it, but I almost got drug into a scam. Got real close to buying stuff that was garbage.
Yeah.
And so they had snuck on what made it look like it was a Fox News article, and it was not.
Yeah.
And they were talking about, they did the same thing with one of the pastors. They took his name and his ministry name and said, oh yeah, he supports this.
Oh yeah.
And then they did the same thing with Greg. 50cc.
Just.
It doesn't need a license.
Yeah, I think it does like a license.
Depends on how big it is.
It's got a plate. It probably needs a license.
I don't know.
Well, it needs insurance.
Yeah. It used to be if it was 50cc, you didn't need a license.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably did need a license plate and insurance for it. Treat it more like a motorized bicycle.
I think they've changed those laws.
They may have. I don't know.
I mean, you even got to register a drone now, no matter what the weight is.
Yeah, that. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
And then if you want to do anything commercial, even if it's under the weight limits, so normally it would be, you got to have a special license now.
I suppose.
If you're using it for commercial purposes.
I suppose.
Yep. Even if you have a YouTube channel and you're putting those ads up there and you make 5 cents on a video, you still need that commercial license.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Pay for the government to make money.
Well, then the other thing is if you shoot with your drone a documentary for anything or anything that for any organization, whether they're not making money or not, you still have to have a commercial license.
Okay.
Yeah,
So make money.
that's the thing. That's one of those. Well, it's one of those. They're trying to make sure that you're safe.
Yeah, maybe.
Anything other than the strictest sense of a hobby, like you going up and shooting a video and then you never put it online anywhere. You don't show it to anybody but basically yourself, you're fine. There's the dorkiest little things that they've changed.
They don't want you to have the ability to do it. It's,
Pretty much, they want everybody to be safe. Called a short form.
yeah.
He says, how is the short form front page and back 15 pages?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to see the long form.
No.
It's just a
different forms.
Yeah.
There's 12
You
calculations.
spend $30 or $80 for the software.
15 calculations
Yeah.
to the page.
Oh yeah.
It's just, oh god.
But
Do you remember when we
one good
used
thing
to...
about using that tax software is you check every little boxy thingy is on there. It's more likely a chance to get money back from because it knows all the little games.
Yeah. Yes, it does. It's still not fun, but it's a lot easier.
It's a lot easier. Yeah.
Do you remember when we used to lay it all out on the table?
And it was a headache.
Spend a week to figure it out.
Or the guys that go into the tax professionals with their shoebox full of receipts for the year. And they find out, well, yes, we saved money, but the money we saved, we had to pay all that saving the money to the tax professional.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, okay.
Well, I had used the long form for the state to get the increased reduction for the military pension. And then after about 3 years, I found out if I just filled it out long, it was better than spending a week filling out. Filled out the short and just said, I'm taking the standard. You actually you actually did better than trying to deduct all. So they put these things in there. They put these things in there. You can get this because you're in the guard, or this because you're active or retired, or whatever. Well, after you go through the numbers a while, you realize that you're not saving any money unless you can qualify for 5 of these different things on that long form. And yeah, they took some off, but if you just filed it short, you'd have been better off than filing it long. So by getting the tax cut down, you actually paid more. I'm like,
that's crazy, isn't it?
Oh, and it took you another week to figure it out, you know. It's like, boy, I get mad on this. And I finally realized what was going on. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that anymore.
That's like when they said, well, we're going to clean up the tax code and we're going to save 15 pages of stuff, but then they're going to create, in the process of saving 15 pages, we're going to create 300.
Yeah. And all of them...
Like, well, we saved 15, so we did
all
good.
Different forms that you got to have.
But in the saving of that 15 pages, you created 300 additional leverage points for this, and this. I'm like, what did this save? Nothing.